Welcome to this model. In this model, I'm going to speak about lab on chip. A lab on a chip is a device that integrates one or several laboratory functions on a single integrated circuit of only millimeters to few square centimeters to achieve automation and high throughput screening. LOCs can handle extremely small fluid volumes down to less than picoliters, and lab-on-chip devices are a subset of microelectromechanical systems, that is MEMS devices, and sometimes called micro-total analysis system. LOCs may use microfluidics, the physics, manipulation, and study of minute amount of fluids. However, strictly regarded lab-on-chip indicates generally the scaling of single or multiple lab processes down to chip format, where the micro total analysis system is dedicated to the integration of total sequence of lab process to perform chemical analysis. The term lab-on-chip was introduced when it turned out that new TAS technologies were applicable for more than only analysis purposes. And after the invention of the microtechnology for realizing integrated semiconductor structures for microelectronic chips, these lithographic based technologies were soon applied in pressure sensor manufacturing as well. Due to further development of these usually CMOS compatibility limited processes, a toolbox became available to create a micrometer or sub-micrometer sized mechanical structures in silicon wafers as well. The micro-M systems era had started, and next to pressure sensors, airbag sensors and other mechanical mobile structures, fluid handling devices were developed, and examples are channels, mixers, valves, pumps and dosing devices. The first LOC analysis system was a gas chromatograph developed in 1979. And however, only at the end of 1980s and at the beginning of 1990s did the LOC research start to seriously grow, as a few research groups in Europe developed micropumps, flow sensors and the concept of integrated fluid treatments for analysis system. And these micro TAS concepts demonstrated that integration of pre-treatment steps usually done at the lab scale could extend the simple sensor functionality toward a complete laboratory analysis, including additional cleaning and separation steps. A big boost in research and commercial interest came in the mid of 1990s, where this micro TAS technologies turned out to provide interesting tooling for genomics applications like capillary electrophoresis and DNA microarrays. A big boost in research support also came from the military, especially from the DAPRA, that is the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, for their interest in portable biochemical warfare against detection systems. The added values was not only limited to integration of lab process for analysis, but also characteristics, possibilities of individual components, and the application of other non-analysis lab process, and hence the term lab on chip was introduced. So it refers to technologies which allow the operations which normally require a laboratory synthesis and analysis of chemicals on a very miniaturized scale within a portable or handheld devices. A typical lab-on-chip device contains microchannels which allow liquid samples to flow inside the chip, but also integrates measuring and sensing and actuating components. So as I said earlier, a lab-on-chip is a device that integrates the one or several laboratory functions on a single chip. It focuses on the development of a hybrid device which integrate fluidics and electronic component onto the same chip, and basically lab-on-chip integrate non-material and microfluidics, nanosensors, microelectronics, biochemistry, fluidic and electronic components onto the same chip. And now let us discuss about the fabrication technology of LOC. LOC chips devices are hybrids that combine glass, silicon and various polymers such as acrylic, polyester, polycarbonate, resist, thermoplastics and molds like the PDMS, that is polydimethyl siloxane. Okay, silicon, glass and polymers are suitable for making the microfluidic components of the chips. Metals like gold, platinum or titanium are used for the conductive parts. Silicon dioxide, silicon nitride and titanium nitride are the insulation and passivation components. LOCs can be fabricated in three ways, like deposition method, etching process and banding, because LOC fabrication techniques are analogous to those of microelectronics and closely related to microfabrication and integration methodologies are shared by both. And this diagram shows the block diagram of LOCs, that is the electronic circuits of LOC. Here the sensor is followed by analog front end which conditions the measuring signal, an analog to digital converter which converts the analog signal into digital, and a DSP processor, that is a digital signal processor, that analyzes the signal, and the signal can be fed back through an actuator by using a digital to analog converter. And the signals can be electrical or optical, and analyzed data are further sent via bus to external computer for post processing, or even visualized on integrated displays or external screen. And before going into the advantages, let me briefly discuss about the chip materials. That is a basis of most LOC fabrication processes, photolithography. Initially, most processes were in silicon, as these well-developed technologies were directly derived from the semiconductor fabrication. Because of demands, for example, specific optical characteristics or biochemical compatibility, low production cost and faster prototyping, new processes have been developed such as glass, ceramic and metal etching, deposition and bonding, and this PDMS processing. Okay, and thick film and stereolithography, as well as fast replication methods via electroplating, injection molding and embossing. The demand for cheap and easy LOC prototyping resulted in a simple technology for the fabrication of PDMS microfluidic devices, and the embedded scaffold remove and open technology is also called escargot, and this technique allows for the creation of the microfluidic channels in a single block of PDMS via a dissolvable scaffold. Furthermore, the LOC field more and more exceeds the border between the lithography-based microsystem technology, nanotechnology, and precision engineering. Now, let us discuss about the advantages of LOCs. It has low fluid volume consumption and compared to the modern laboratories, that is faster analysis and response time due to short diffusion distances, fast heating, high surface to volume ratios and small heat capacities, better process control because of faster response of the system, compactness of the system due to integration of much functionality and small volumes, massive parallelization due to compactness which allows the high throughput analysis, lower fabrication cost allowing cost effective disposable chips are fabricated in mass production. So in short, we can consolidate the advantages of LOC as low fluid volume consumption, faster analysis and response time, massive parallelization, lower fabrication cost and safer platform, which may be used for chemical, radioactive and biological survey. And the main disadvantages are the micro manufacturing process required to make them is complex and labor intensive, requiring both expensive equipment and specialized personnel. It can be overcome by the recent technology advancement on low cost 3D printing and laser engraving. The complex fluid actuation network requires multiple pumps and connectors where fine control is difficult. It can be overcome by careful simulation and intrinsic pumps such as the airbag embedded chip, or by using a centrifugal force to replace the pumping. Most LOCs are novel proof of concept application that are not yet fully developed for widespread use. Since this is a new technology, this is not fully developed, and the LOCs are more complex than in conventional lab equipment. Detection principles may not always scale down in a positive way, leading to low signal to noise ratios. And these are the applications of LOCs, that is personalized medicine, point of care diagnostics, marine sensors, monitor pollution, monitor pandemics and diseases, linked to medical and patient databases, usage as terminal testers, and military medicines. Proposed LOC include HIV test, bacteria test, screening test that can detect the chromosome mutation of various cancers. And one of the problems is providing the flow through LOCs. And now this diagram shows the instead of using external pump, passive flow occurs when different sized drops are used. Here, a flowing liquid, that is the flowing liquid in the channel, is effectuated by adding a drop to the port opposite to the large drop, and the subsequent increase of pressure due to small curvature of the added drop provokes its flow towards the large drop until curvatures match. This happens in seconds to minutes, and during the storage of the signal or channel, an evaporation occurs both at the large and small drop, and a decrease in volume will provoke more decrease in curvature in the small drop, and thus an unbalance of pressure in its favor. A flow will be generated from the large to the small drop, and thus the ensuing constant of wetting of the port. Thank you.